But I also researched in the high carb, low fat vegan movement, because that is actually where I expected help from. I didn't actually expect the big help from doctors, because I already knew it's something that pretty much no one knows about, and which is not in the, like, which has not arrived in the general medicine yet. And I found one person that I could identify with, because he has had adrenal fatigue as well, and he had been high carb, low fat vegan before. So he made videos on YouTube. His name is Amitabh. I hope I spelled it right, or pronounced it right. I'll link his channel down below the video. He's a very, very nice guy. He actually also did a video on me. And why is that? Because, well, I wrote him an email, and he really responded to me and helped me a lot. And but he blames the diet, his diet, the high carb diet, for me having gotten the adrenal fatigue. So in his eyes, the diet is to blame in my case, and also in his case. I agree with a lot of him on his channel, and there's very, very helpful advice on his channel, but I don't agree on that one with him. And well, I don't know about his case, if it had been the cause for his adrenal fatigue, I don't know, but I have to say I personally really don't believe it, but I leave it like that. But with me, I just know it wasn't a diet, because if it was, I still had that adrenal fatigue, or it had gotten worse. Because I actually didn't stop being high carb vegan when I had the adrenal fatigue. I informed myself like fucking much. And I was aware of the fact that everyone, like all the literature you have about it, says that you should avoid carbs, and you should consider animal products, and you should eat high protein, high fat, and all of that. But I just knew for me, it just can't be the solution. I'm not gonna get into that too much now, because I actually already did a video on that, where I explain exactly what I changed about my high carb, low fat vegan diet. But like staying high carb vegan and staying low fat and staying vegan. And the funny thing is that, it's actually sad. So before I say that, I have to say that I haven't recovered, like I haven't finished the recovery yet, but that is normal. Like a friend of mine, it took him 2 years to recover from adrenal fatigue, and he also overtrained to get it, and well, he didn't overtrain to get it, but his cause was overtraining. And well, if you had seen me then when I had crashed down, I was just like a piece of shit lying in bed and just being able to do nothing, and that was really hard. And so I got better steadily, like consistently, on a high carb, low fat vegan diet, but I had to do a few adaptations, and these are very, very crucial. So you really want to look into that video. I'll post it down, or I'll link it down below the video. That is really important. So, but when I first, there really were times when I doubted, that I started doubting my diet, and I was open to doubt my diet. My goal was to get healthy. On the first glance, I thought, okay, could it be my diet? But today I know it was just the overload of stress, because I'm able to recover on that diet from adrenal fatigue more and more, and I just find it very logical that I only couldn't tolerate that much carbs in one sitting that I used to eat, because my body was in a sick state, because my adrenals weren't healthy enough to handle that. And I came to the conclusion that it is only the sick, unnatural, messy state, my exhausted adrenals, which were responsible for for me not tolerating the diet as much as I used to before. So I didn't blame the diet, and I still don't blame it at all. It doesn't have to do with it. It was the overtraining, and that got me into the body state where I got problems with my diet. I'll explain it more in the video below, where I'm talking about adrenal fatigue and diet. The sad thing now is that the common literature, which I really recommend a lot to read for you if you have already run into this issue, one of them is adrenal fatigue, like 21st century disease, something like that, by Dr. Wilson. And I agree with a lot that he writes in the book, and it's a really important book, but I just don't agree on the dietary recommendations there. So they actually say that vegetarians, let alone vegans, let alone high carb, low fat vegans, have a hard time or can possibly not recover from adrenal fatigue. Well, I'm living proof it is possible, even though I'm not finished yet. So all literature says that it's the worst thing you can do, eating high carb, low fat vegan, kind of. I felt that I was unable to tolerate that much carbs in one sitting, and that my blood sugar went through the roof. But my hope just was that I only had to give up like that much carbs in one sitting for that time, and I still am convinced that my diet wasn't the cause. It's just my adrenals that couldn't handle it in their sick state. And today I already can really eat, like, I don't mind anymore. I don't have these symptoms anymore after eating. The recommendations of eating animal products again is just insane, I think. How can things that are bad for us, in the long run, heal us from a disease? It just didn't want to get into my head. So for me, it was just too logic to stay high carb, low fat vegan with the adaptations. On 30 bananas a day, that is actually where I started my research. If someone had an experience like that already, there were people that had that experience or similar issues, but they, they didn't get any response. Like, there was not really anyone who could address this. Like, only these answers. You are right on the diet, you have the healthy diet, you are carving up. Like, these standard recommendations, which are great, don't get me wrong, but it's not enough in that sick state. And why? You can see that, you can understand that after having watched the video about adrenal fatigue and diet that I did, which is still in the box below, in the description box.